In this video, I am going to review the Ricoma MT-1501. I've titled this video a real review from a real owner because sometimes you might see people doing reviews with equipment they don't even own. Okay, so it's kind of hard to kind of get an accurate review from somebody that doesn't own that equipment. This is my MT-1501. I've had this machine for 2 years, okay? So you're going to get a real owner video review. Let's start with a full disclosure. I am not getting paid. I am not affiliated or anything whatsoever with Ricoma, okay? I don't have a promotional link. I don't have a promo code or anything. You know, I don't have the homie hookup, okay? This is just my personal review. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I always get asked every week, okay, what are my thoughts, what are my recommendations on the Ricoma? Okay, so the best way to answer this, instead of answering everybody individually, okay, I think it's better just to make a video. That way, if you're doing research, or you know, if you're trying to start up your embroidery business, I can help you out with some information. I remember when I was doing my research, okay, I was doing heavy research, okay, and sometimes, you know, you're kind of iffy if somebody actually doesn't have the equipment, or somebody's never used it, or, you know, they just used it, you know, for a short period of time. Let's go ahead and let's start with the review. Okay, first, when I first bought my machine, okay, I started from ground zero. I didn't know anything about embroidery, okay, I didn't know what a tatami stitch was. I didn't know what sand stitch. I didn't know when to use cutaway, when to use tearaway. I completely started from ground zero. I thought, my personal belief was, all we had to do was load up a JPEG, push the green button, and okay, you were already making money. Okay, I didn't know all the details that came with it. When I was doing my research, okay, I'm currently active duty US Navy. Okay, at the time when I was doing my research, I was deployed on a ship. Okay, so what I would do, I would download all the Ricoma videos and every other company's videos, and I would download them on my tablet, and on my free time, I was just studying. I was just studying and figuring out this whole game of embroidery. Okay, so by the time, I would say, like after 4 months, okay, of studying and analyzing everything, I can honestly say that I had like an equivalent of a master's degree in embroidery. All right, well, I wouldn't say mastery, a master, maybe more of an associate, okay, because I kind of at least knew the fundamentals, what to look for when I was about to buy my machine. And I'm glad I learned the fundamentals, because your whole experience in embroidery is gonna be based on you knowing the fundamentals, okay? Especially locking in your tension. Make sure I'm not kind of going off on a tangent, all right? So coming back, okay? A big thing, even before I get into the machine, okay? A big thing about Ricoma is their online training videos, okay? Their YouTube videos. Just with those videos alone, it'll set you up for success. Okay, so what I got out of those videos was the fundamentals of embroidery. What can you do? Not just the embroidery portion, but also the business portion. Okay, you have Henry Ma, which is their CEO. He talks about the business side. Okay, so sometimes that's something you don't think about when you're purchasing a machine. So to kind of get an idea of that side of it is a big plus. Okay, so big plus on just resources, available resources that's out there, okay? Even if you don't own a Ricoma, you could learn a lot just by their YouTube channel. Okay, so coming back to my machine. Okay, so the big thing when I was purchasing my machine, okay, was the ability to make hats. Okay, I'm a big hat fan. Okay, I spent so much money, okay, at lids. For those who buy your hats and you know about lids, right? They're at every mall, everywhere you go, there's a lids. Okay, I lived all around the US and I know there's a lids everywhere I go. Okay, so I know if you know about hats, then you're familiar with lids, right? And I always go for the upscale hats. Okay, I've never been a fan of cheap hats or anything. So when I wanted to start this business, my whole thing was I want high quality, best of the best hats. We wanted our name and our business to represent a high quality hats, just like I viewed lids. Okay, that was my big thing. Now, one of the best decisions that we made was by buying the bigger version of the one head, okay, which is the MT-1501. Okay, there's smaller versions, but I was glad we bought the 1501. First of all, of course, it's good with hats. Okay, that's our bread and butter's hats. But you're gonna notice that when you start fulfilling your orders, okay, you're gonna turn in your order, and the customer's gonna quickly, okay, they're gonna look at the quality, they're gonna be happy with it, and they're quickly gonna say, hey, can you do jackets? Can you do backpacks? Can you do this? Can you do that? Okay, and I already knew the capability of this machine, so I never had to turn down any type of business. Okay, so now we live in northern Illinois. Okay, it's a whole different type of coldness here. Okay, if you're from up here, kind of this area, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm originally from California. We're not used to this type of cold. Okay, but a big thing, once everything starts freezing up, icing up, okay, it's all about jackets. When it begins to get cold here, then it's non-stop. Okay, we're doing heavy jackets, and you gotta have a strong, solid machine, okay, to take care of jackets. Okay, so of course, if you don't know, okay, sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get yourself into when you're doing embroidery, right? You might say, hey, I'm gonna start with just polo shirts. I don't need a big machine, okay? But I'm telling you, you're gonna turn in your product, and they're gonna ask you for other stuff, okay? Diaper bags, all right? That was one time we got. The first time we did a diaper bag, you know, it caught us off guard. Like, is that even possible? Usually the mentality is I'm gonna buy something small, and once I start growing and I grow a little bit bigger, I'll buy something bigger. Okay, in embroidery, I would recommend whatever you think you're gonna get, whatever you think you need, okay, whatever you think you need, go bigger until you get to the biggest. Okay, so in our situation, this was the biggest. Okay, this was the biggest. This is what we needed. Okay, anything bigger, we're probably talking about, you know, multiple heads now. Okay, which we weren't there yet. At that time, we weren't there yet. Right now, it's kind of on the horizon. Hey, we need 4 heads. Okay, so sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get yourself into when you're doing embroidery, right? So I would recommend, hey, try to go as big as you can, because you don't know what people are gonna start asking for, and you have to be ready, or else you're gonna say, like, you know what, I can't do that. Quality wise, okay, not to sound conceited or anything, but okay, quality wise, can easily go toe to toe with any shop, okay, any embroiderer, any machine. Okay, quality wise, you give me something, I'm gonna dial in my my machine according to what we're doing. Okay, especially hats, I go toe to toe with stuff at lids. Okay, sometimes I'm looking at the stuff that's over there, I'm like, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that. Okay, but as an embroiderer, you start seeing things, especially when you're out in the retail market, or you're seeing things where you're like, oh wow, why did they do this, or why did they do that? Of course, you know why, right? They're trying to save money on certain stuff, and sometimes the general public, they won't catch certain things, which an embroiderer will. But quality wise, Okay, easy. I'll go toe to toe with anybody quality wise. Okay, especially hats. Especially hats is what we specialize in. Okay, and one thing, hats is kind of like the scary project. A lot of people kind of stay away from hats, but the way I see it, if you master hats, especially 3D puff hats, everything else from there on down, it's easy. Okay, now let's talk about some of the issues that I've had with this machine. Okay, so, okay, no matter what machine you get, I don't care who you are, okay, you're gonna have those days where something is not right. Okay, you're gonna be shooting bricks. And let me tell you something. I would say 95% of the time, in my situation, all right? Maybe in other people's situations, it might be different. My situation, 95% of the time, it's an operator issue, okay? Something that I'm doing, okay? Or maybe there's something that the machine doesn't like, okay? Maybe something like a thread it doesn't like. Maybe there's a bobbin that, you know, is not constructed right. A needle that's just, you know, something's wrong with this. Something in the mix is going on, okay? I would say that's 95% of the problems, right? But there's that 5%, okay? I've had one situation where we had our machine, okay, in the middle of a big project, okay? This was pretty big, okay? In the middle of a project, our machine just kind of started turning on and off. And I was like, wow, you know, I felt like I was in a scene of Ghostbusters when, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff was going on. I was like, oh, wait. To the point where I had to just pull the plug on our machine. Okay, I just had to turn it off. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. Okay, obviously, when you get to that level, it's not a user issue. Okay, it's not something that you've done or your settings. Okay, so, but this is the big thing right here. Okay, this is where I was convinced, hey, Ricoma tech support, okay? I've always heard about it. I always heard, hey, tech support, great, 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 good, 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 okay? But it was finally my turn to test it out, okay? So when I called, I let them know everything what was going on. They kind of already had an idea of what was going on. They told me, check this, this, that, to the point where they were like, all right, this is what it is, okay? And what it was I had to change a circuit card for the control panel. Now, active duty US Navy, okay? Electronic technicians. So changing circuit cards, easy. But when I did it here, it was even easier than what I thought, okay? It was like, oh, just remove 4 screws, take out the old one, okay? Connect the new one, good to go, okay? I was like, oh, dang, I called them back. I let them know, hey, we're good to go, okay? I was back in the fight, okay? Now, I did lose a week, okay? I did lose a week of work. I kind of related to situations where I had car problems and I took it to the dealership and I kind of already had that idea like, wow, they're about to, you know, take all my money at this dealership to fix this car, okay? That was kind of like the idea that I had when my machine was going crazy. I was like, oh man, okay? I'm gonna have to pay out the pockets, okay? But the good thing is your machine's under warranty, okay? The machine's under warranty, so I didn't have to fight them, okay? It's not like an insurance company where an insurance company, you gotta fight and you gotta prove your point and you gotta do all sorts of crazy stuff, okay, for the company to pay. Ricoma off the bat was like, all right, let's get you back. Let's get you back in the fight, okay? All it was, circuit card, bam, call back, okay, hey, let's double check, okay? That's another thing, okay? When I did call and let them know that everything was good, they were like, hey, let's double check, let's check this, let's check that. Other types of issues that we have, mostly everything else, is usually user error, or it might be the material error, okay? So sometimes you gotta look out for certain things, and that's another thing, okay? Just on a side note, you have to have good vendors or good places to buy your stuff, okay? All your threads and your needles and your bobbins and your cutaways and everything else, okay? One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to go out to like Joann's, all right? Joann's, they have all sorts of weird stuff, okay? That's really not made for embroidery machines. So some people be buying some weird stuff from Joann's that's not even compatible with the machine, okay? So that's another thing, but that's a side note. That's another video too, okay? Overall, my machine is solid, okay? It does hats, it runs hats, okay? And even though sometimes I want to stick to hats, it's not possible, okay? It's not possible because people want more stuff, okay? And of course, I'm not gonna say no. My recommendation, okay, when people ask me what machine do you recommend, okay, first I tell them, before I even recommend a machine, I gotta recommend you just embroidery itself. Embroidery is a very tricky industry to get into. Me, I thought, hey, you push that green button, you push that go button, and you're making money. It's not always like that. You gotta learn, not only learn, you gotta be obsessed with embroidery, and you have to master, okay, the fundamentals of embroidery. And if you get that, okay, if you understand how embroidery works, then yes, I will definitely recommend not only embroidery, okay, but of course the Ricoma MT-1501, because once you understand the machine, you could jump on any machine, okay, any machine, you'll be good. But this one here, I've done all sorts of projects, okay? So this is video number 30 for the Romero Threads channel, okay? So it's not like I'm just telling you, hey, it can do all sorts of stuff and there's no backup behind it, okay? So you could see all the proof behind it, okay? So my main thing today on this video was to kind of explain kind of my thinking on why I purchased it, okay? So why I purchased it was for hats, and that's what we crank out, okay? Day in, day out, we're cranking hats, okay? And be ready to crank out other stuff, okay? Whatever you get into, people are gonna ask for other stuff, okay? What I wanna do is keep this conversation going. So what I wanna do, okay, I'm definitely gonna make a part 2, okay? Because I already know there's going to be questions. There's going to be more questions. There's always questions, okay? In this game, you never stop learning. You never stop asking questions, okay? I'm learning every day. Every project that I do, I'm always learning something, okay? So what I want to do is keep the conversation going. Drop the comments down below if you have anything you want to know. If there's a feature you want to know, okay, you could go directly to the website and see all that, okay? I didn't try to make the video on, you know, all the specific specs, because that's all listed on their website, okay? I'll list the website down below. It's just a direct link. My whole thing is to help you out, because when I bought my machine, I was asking the same questions that you're asking, okay? So I'm just kind of like paying it forward. So go ahead, drop your questions down below, okay? We'll make a part 2 and we'll continue this conversation. Okay, so if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, because we're always talking about new projects, and I got some new equipment coming in the shop. Okay, so I'm gonna do some new unboxing coming pretty soon. So make sure you are here, subscribe, ready to go, because we are going to be busy. Okay, so thank you for joining us. Till next time, peace out.